Hey, aloha. Welcome to Office Hour Korean Natural Farming. And hope everything out there is going well for you. So welcome. Today is February 26th. to 2023. So let us get started with a bit of higher wisdom here. And today is the gentle, the penetrating wind. Consistent correctness turns every situation to your advantage. The image of this hexagram is that of a gentle wind dispersing storm clouds. A wind that changes direction often, even a very powerful one, will disperse nothing. It only stirs up the sky. The wind that causes real change is the one that blows consistently in the same direction. There is an important lesson for us in this example. When faced with a difficult problem to resolve or a goal we wish to achieve, we are often tempted to take striking and energetic actions. Though it is possible to achieve temporary results in this fashion, they tend to collapse when we cannot sustain the vigorous effort. More enduring accomplishments are won by gentle and ceaseless penetration, like that of the soft wind blowing steadily in the same direction. The truth of the sage penetrates to us in this way. And this hexagram comes now to remind you how you should seek to penetrate others. The advice is given to you by the I Ching is threefold. First, establish a clear goal. The wind that continually changes direction has no real effect. Second, apply the principle of gentle penetration to yourself. By eliminating your own inferior qualities, you earn influence over others. Third, avoid aggressive or ambitious maneuvers now. These are rooted in desire and fear and will only serve to block the aid of the creative. Desirable influence is the one that flows naturally from maintaining a proper attitude. In your interactions with others, bend like the willow. By remaining adaptable, balanced, accepting, and independent, and by steadily moving in a single direction, you gain the clarity and strength that makes possible a series of great successes. Hey, everybody. So I was thinking about it, I was walking across the yard to the office, and I was like, man, the office hours, why do I always do this? And then, but look at this family here of people tuning in, coming in from around the world. George from Latvia, Mitchell, where you at? Goofman, New York, Ben in Arizona, Solar Gourmet in Germany. We got the Tasty Sun here. Yeah, Living Man, New Jersey's here. Where's VA? I don't know where VA is. So, the steady wind, the continually showing up. Someone was saying, man, you're kind of dedicated the other week. And, I think that's what it takes to continue to grow natural farming in a steady direction. Oh, Virginia. Huh, I should know that maybe. I don't know why I didn't think of it. VA is Virginia. Virginia's for lovers. And the guy across the street, Moose, is a Virginian who came out here to Hawaii and starts to started to grow Ava. George, if you want to jump in, I did drop the Zoom link in the chat. So here today, I wanted to share some small, just little side updates with you. One of those is this here. Let me just pull it up and get the right one on this side. That one. Okay. And Heather and Dan just sent me this of their car being buried by snow. And it's kind of funny because, you know, here in Hawaii, it just rained, I don't know, a couple feet in the past week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks since they left. And it didn't rain until the whole month before they were here. And now it's just raining. But I forget because I've been farming this whole time since about a month they were here ago. Maybe 2 months ago now, almost. And I've farmed so much in the beginning, or since then, and I forget that halfway around the world, the majority of you folks up in the northern hemisphere are looking like this right now. And so here I am farming, you know, out, you know, moving cattle and doing all this farming stuff, and I forget that it's like winter for most folks. I wish this was all like IMOs, and it was just eating and bioremediating in this whole land. Imagine this was all white, fluffy mycelium from Heather spreading the IMOs in her neighborhood. I don't know if it would probably eat everyone's house and car, and you just end up with a beautiful, fertile earth, but I don't know. The snow and all that, it's pretty good. Oh, what? Mark, you're on North Shore? Bro, you gotta come over Big Island, at least for a day. Come say hi. That's nothing. Okay, you guys get more snow than this. Well, for me, that's a whole lot because, you know, I don't deal with that snow like that. I mean, snow is up in the mountain, but not down here. So anyway, just got that shared with me of they're checking in. Nice to hear back from people. And then one other kind of update here is this here. So I found this software, Fly Lychee, and I set it up so that here's the farm. This is my house here. It's the office where I'm at right now. And so I set the drone up to fly outside and fly around this loop here like this and fly back like that around that loop. And it takes about 4 minutes to do, and apparently it's 1.6 kilometers, and it points the drone at these points of interest around. But the cool thing is now, instead of me having to go out and fly the drone around, I can just take the drone out and turn it on, and load this route in, and say go, and hit record, and it flies this whole route. And now then later I can really help me to document my farm a heck of a lot better, because it'll be the same shot every time. And so if I fly the drone and I just put it outside and I do this exact route each time, it pretty much follows the same route. So let me see here one sec, and if I can pull this up. So I'll show you what it looks like on this drone shot. And there's a couple angles that I maybe could tweak a little bit better just to be really nice and on it. But let's see here. Okay, yeah, this one. I'll bring this over. Or no, hang on. Let me open that. Bring it over here, and what I want to show you here is, and let me just share the screen completely and play this. So this is that shot. So as I'm doing more natural farming, as you know, it's just a big piece of land to work on to do. And let me just, for sake of this, I'm going to put it 1.5 times just to fly a drone a little quicker here than. But this will be the route that the drone will fly automatically without me. So it's kind of it's now on its course, doing its thing. And so this is my pasture on the roadside. Right now I'm grazing a mama and her baby in there and not really managing it. So this is kind of like what a pretty good pasture that's been not treated that well looks like. This field was a bunch of elephant grass I just mowed. And then this field here is, there's the mama and the baby in the corner there. So they're grazing those 2 paddocks there. And then we're going to fly over the top. This pasture below is ready to be grazed. This one right in front of us, this pasture, is where I am working a bunch. Those piles are where I drop fish and microbes. We just sprayed this with with IMOT. Been working on these pastures. There's my new dairy cow. And then flying over to the barn, all the bananas. And working on this planting out here. So, so it kind of flips around the barn. You get to see, what progress is happening there in terms of, the valley a little bit, the barn, all the bananas, the pigs and chickens are in there, the river. And then this pasture I'm working on a lot. There's our barn, and my cows were out. Those 2 cows are not supposed to be in that field right there. My parents' house. And then flying back over to my house and all the plantings down below there. So working on I just grazed the cows through here, but wanting to get this to be a bunch of sugarcane. So below, right at the very bottom where the truck is, all that sugarcane, and then working on this to bring it more taro as the land dries out a little bit. It's been so rainy. And so, yeah, just looking around, seeing. And it's almost done there, and it just finishes up. So that's what, let's see here. So that's what I got, that route set, so that the drone will just do and follow those things. And it's pretty cool website and app and everything that I just set it up, and it follows that. And now I'll be able to, aerially, it's a hard word to say, document the farm around there, and that will work. So yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to sharing more of that with you guys. And then I got George here. If let's see. Let's see here. If I start that video, I think it's gonna. It's still going? Yeah. Okay. And I can hear you. So everybody, just let me know. Can you hear George? George, so can you guys hear George?
Hello.
I can hear him. So let's see if we can hear him in the chat here.
Hear each other now.
Yeah. Okay. They can hear you.
Competition with you now.
Okay. Well, let me get your and how's his volume on that side? Let me know if I need to.
And can you hear me well?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey. So welcome, George. So we talked. I don't know. Was it almost a year ago? It was right before winter last year, and then now it's winter again this year. And then since then, you've been doing a bunch of Korean natural farming things.
Yeah, I've been trying to, and this year I'm preparing all the ingredients in the back shelf there. and didn't have really much chance to try them out really. But I'm trying them on microgreens since we have like 3-4 months maybe proper summer. So quite a short season. So you gotta be prepared.
So the microgreens are enabling you to grow, like extend your season and grow indoors where you don't have access. Like it's snowy, like that picture I just showed, right?
Yeah. It's exactly like that right now, but it's much warmer than any other previous years.
Oh, interesting. I wonder. I wonder why.
I don't know. It's just like the climate is changing like that. I remember that it was usually much more snow in the December, but nowadays it's like February, which is supposed to be the coldest month in a year. It's weird that it's not that cold. It used to be like sometimes -20, something like that. Sometimes even lower.
Huh. It's interesting for us here too. That's a little bit of we just had a month and a half of complete drought, and then now we just had a month and a half of 40 days of rain basically. So kind of that's not out of characteristic, but it's just like the weather is very extreme, is what I would say.
Yeah, true. So yeah, what I've been working on is like I'm building like the garden beds, like intensive market garden. So I'm basically piling up like good 20 centimeters of manure, like in the straight beds. You probably saw some in the pictures. And I'm building the soil upwards. So I'm basically planting into the manure, not the manure, but it's already decomposed, like second year now. I'm adding new beds, and so the biology is not that great because the pals were standing there and they've got a rain because we have quite a lot of rain. It's like quite damp, so the compost quality is not that great. So I need to like supplement with something. So green actual finding seems like it makes sense that we can produce them and put them into the so they can take care of the compost, so make it more composted, so to say. So that's why I'm focusing on this one, and it really makes sense how it works. But I'm on the microgreens. I'm just essentially trying to like have some kind of understanding, at least how much the effect is possible with this method. But I'm guessing that from the results that I have currently, thinking it's like more. It needs to take more time a little bit, like in the sense that in the microgreens maybe it's not that visible. This one is with a KNF. This one's without. Try to be somewhat consistent, but I don't know. I try to spray this one every day with the KNF solution here, but I was not very consistent. But at least the water was the same amount, so it's really hard to tell if there is like any visible difference at this stage. So any suggestions or inputs from your experience would be much appreciated.
Yeah, no. When I'm looking at that, I mean, they seem very similar.
Yeah, they are quite similar. There's a little bit of like a peat moss underneath. It's like the best. It's for sowing basically. The peat moss substrate. There's basically no like synthetic ones added to it. It's like somehow balanced or something like that. So it's a decent product, but it's not the same as soil.
And so when you're getting into this, is this just your first kind of trial run, or have you done these microgreens in a larger system prior to this?
Yeah, we just start. We did like 2 years ago. We started with microgreens to have some sort of our own business to run. But it's quite a cold climate and the price is skyrocketed for the energy, so we just canceled that one, and now we're focusing on what we can do with our land actually, because we have a lot of land here, so we can utilize that. So we're using the winter periods to kind of prepare for the summer. So that's why I have all the things already prepared. I have some every bit of everything what I could get my hands on and make. I have some fuel here. And this one's like balsam, which is like OHN kind of thing, because it's like made in Latvia for since 1752. I assume the ingredients that are that approximately the same, but I'm not 100% sure. At least I checked the plants that they use, they are all correct ones, but they are like 20 something different ones in it.
Cool. So do you and is that like when you're showing me that it looks like a learning lab? Like do you invite people over to kind of see this?
Yeah, I have some people been over, and there was like one from magazine to take photos with this stuff, and I'm telling people all over the place, and people are quite interested in this one. It's just a matter of adjusting it to our climate, so that people understand that this works. That's the main what I'm trying to get out of it, to have some kind of set example that I can show that yep, there's a difference and you can visibly see. And I'm going kind of for that one.
And when I'm looking at your microgreens, I don't necessarily see a huge difference there. You know, like so. But let me ask you also, like if this this screen here, this what I'm sharing in the stream here, these are your fields that you do outside, right?
One second, I'll check it.
Yeah. Because I think
yeah, those are my this was like the beginning of second year, and I'm just putting like a small top layer of compost that I have available on top of it, like basically renewing the top surface, so basically feeding the soil. And I'm using like broadleaf wood mulch in the pathways. So it's and then on the right you can see there's some green, that's rye. I'm just trying to cover it with some kind of growing plants while there's nothing growing in it really. It's like for late season and early spring, so there's some feeding going on for the microbes.
Yeah, and then let's see. So that's a close up. So these here, this is like some sort of compost that you're putting down.
Yeah, that's essentially just pure animal bedding. That's the lump was laying around. I just tried to mix it well, like remix it with the machinery that I've got.
And into this, did you put any IMOs or microorganisms?
I did last summer. I did at the very beginning. There was some like dusty, some dusty, like kind of a dust, kind of a spider webs, but they weren't necessarily mycelia going there. But the places where I have like a tarp on top of like mulch, there's like plenty of white stuff going on. And there I didn't even put much in.
And did you notice a difference in terms of the like the penetration? Like did your soil get softer where you applied microorganisms?
No, not really, because the top is like basically compost and it's already soft. I use the broad fork just to like lift it a little bit to aerate it, like, but I'm not turning it in any way. I'm not digging it at all. I'm just trying to like mix it a little bit because it is raw compost and it needs a little bit more air so it can compost aerobically better. And maybe just with the tip of the broad fork, you just pokes the top surface a little bit of the actual soil.
Okay, kind of like loosening it, kind of idea. So, I mean, you did that, and then you also sprayed your friend's field with a bunch of Jadam microbes too.
Yeah, we did that as an experiment to just see if we can get those microbes going. So I've had like a wire in the 1 cubic meter of a solution, and we sprayed that one. And I didn't have the chance to check, but they said that there was a little bit of difference, but it wasn't like I didn't confirm it completely. We just ran out of time. There's a lot of things that we need to manage.
Oh, totally,
Uh,
totally. I mean, yeah, no, I get that. I mean, farming. So farming's the real deal, man. It's like a
yeah.
So here's the here's the tractor sprayer, and they loaded the nice boom. Was that so? When you did that, was that pretty easy to do to get the JMS in the tractor and spray the field? I mean, how was that process?
Um, I don't know how they got it in. I just prepared it at home, and then we loaded it on trailer, and they pulled it to their place, and they just loaded up that and sprayed it. I
Okay.
just basically made this solution for them. And that's my idea that if I make if I can learn to how to make it, I can like make a lot and distribute the different farms and make like a test field, like spray one with solution, one with water, and the rest is nothing, and then see the difference.
So I
That's the idea.
no. Well, I like what you're up to because you're really almost you're looking for like that scientific proof and that thing where you can then show and demonstrate to people, and then and then everyone will want what you're doing here, right? Like it's kind of what like what I was doing where now I got the drone to fly around and to do the land, and now it's like it's
Yeah.
to me it's that documentation. It's when you're able to see that, right? Is that what inspires you?
Yes, as well, because then you can actually see how the land has transformed. That's really cool. And I love the drone shot. I was always wondering where I can find you on Google Maps. Like, I want to see your place.
Yeah. The Google Maps is only it's kind of interesting. I looked back at my land back to like this area we're taking care of till about 2002 when we first came out here, and it was just there were no trees. It was just pasture, and now there's a bunch of trees, and it's really transformed.
Cool.
But
Love it.
yeah, seeing the drone and documenting. So how's it been in terms of people's reception for what your efforts, what you're doing?
Yeah, they're interested into it because I'm basically showing the people that in a way that I'm saying that well we already have some national parks, and the way I see national parks, if we don't touch them, but we can go there to collect microbes in a sense, and in this way we have our own source of microorganisms of large diversity that we can use to regenerate the land. That's how I see it, and we don't necessarily need to buy something from the. We have like bio humus like organization that is making their own like microbes of different kind, but that's again it's like large distribution and stuff like that, and it's not the same as the local because this one's supposed to be used like 1-2 kilometers away from your place to regenerate your land. So yeah.
Well, so with the national parks, those are like microbe reserves almost. Like you're thinking of it that way.
Yeah. National parks, we don't do any like uh, farming there. They are just there, and that's how I see the purpose of them. It's not just because there was like this one case when one company wanted to buy like one of these areas, and it just doesn't make sense because doesn't feel right. Because essentially why they want to buy is to use it as for sort of farming, like cutting out trees and stuff like that. But you can see in Google Maps that basically the farmland is increasing if you move towards south of Latvia. We have quite a lot of forests, and that seems like we should hang on to our forests. It's fine that they are there. Shouldn't abuse it.
So more farming's growing there, but it's growing into the forest.
Yeah, but we have quite a lot of fields as well. We have like quite a lot of grassland as well.
In Korea, it's just the mountain tops have forests, and then all the flatland they farm. But certain areas they like, you know, you back up and you get into the mountains, and then it's like, oh man, that's how you know like famine is coming, because you're farming way up into the hills where it's not even fertile anymore. It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
So how was your harvest this year?
It's pretty good. The onions were this big, basically the size of my fist. They were pretty good. Um, yeah. Well, I'm not a proper gardener. I'm an IT, same as you. But going back to farming, and the garden is the thing that I want to build. And I'm not sure I want to be the gardener itself, but I want to make sure that the soil is great, and anyone who wants can farm as well. But I have to like set an example and become one to show that it's possible.
Yeah, you're kind of like the leader, the center person. If you can't do it, then you can like, how can you tell other people?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so how many seasons have you been growing food for then?
This was second, the third is coming up, so beginner still.
Wow. And then also the you know, the microgreens, so that's like kind of, you know, getting into those two things kind of at the same time. That was your first kind of getting into agriculture type of thing.
First thing was I was trying to grow some mushrooms in a home setting, just in an incubator, just grow some mushrooms, and from there I understood that like mushrooms, like it's like completely different animal, and from going deeper into that one, I understood that nobody else is talking about mushrooms. Like, what's going on? So I started to research soil as well, and then I find different. Then I found you, and I found the different guys that are doing Nordic gardening, and I learned a lot from them. And I went to one to learn for 4 days in Sweden. That's next to our across the sea. I went there to see it in on site how it looks like, and I really like, and I understand how it goes, and I want to like replicate that in our farm.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, learning from good places. It's kind of like yeah, and getting into the real like the living soil. You know, starting with mushrooms. That makes total sense, man. You came from like the like yeah. You know, I haven't ever really intentionally cultured mushrooms, but I've been to a few places where they're growing them in bags and things, and you know, I just do the IMOs. And the other day I was out in my field and I found a huge oyster mushroom growing, just just popped up. So
And in my garden, because I have these broadleaf wood chips, the mushrooms are growing all over it, like different kinds.
do you have edible mushrooms?
We have a lot of edible mushrooms. I'm not sure if the garden has them.
They always make the joke that every mushroom is edible once.
True, true. At least once you can taste it.
It's really good. Up. Yeah. They're saying Partita in Spain is saying she grows oysters, shiitake, mitake, portobello. That's
Oh,
awesome.
nice, nice.
Yeah, and someone's asking here, where are you located?
I'm in Baltic states, next to the Russian border. It's near the Baltic Sea. We are one of the three Baltic states here. There's Finland, then there's Estonia, then Latvia, then Lithuania, and then Ukraine.
So you're actually like you're pretty close to Ukraine and all that. Like there's the whole yeah, situation happening there too, right? Has that affected you and your farming at all?
Well, a part that we see that's even more relevant now. Yeah, in that sense, yeah.
like more relevant just to be like more sovereign with your own food, like knowing that you
Yeah,
have, resilience around you type thing.
yeah. I think people starting getting into that because now we are in partnership with one new company that works already 2 years, and they are making a decentralized delivery system. It's really interesting concept, and we are the first one that doing it away from the capital where they started it out. So we're kind of trailblazers for the outside capital distribution point. So when we locally help deliveries, but we have connection because our milk factory is delivering daily to Riga, and they're coming back empty. So we said that okay, we make point here in our town, and then you can when you come back you can pick up some stuff and drop it here. But it can be not only food. The idea is that our main thing is that it's food that we can deliver because we are making it so that the packaging, like places where you can pick up and drop off packages, are refrigerated. In that way, we can make it much easier for the locals to have to grow in away from capital, whereas we have very low population and it's decreasing all the time, and we want to like make it viable for the locals to have some proper business of their own and have some customers that are in capital mostly. But it's also, mainly also for ourselves, so we can have our own little food delivery system. It's nice. It takes so much time to everyone goes to the market at some days and then spends the time there, which we could use actually farming. So we'll see how
That
it goes. But we have a good feeling about that.
Yeah, that is actually amazing. That's actually when I was thinking, I was actually wanting to write some software and have a depot to accomplish that, because for me that's actually one of my biggest hurdles is if I had some place where like I could just drop stuff off, like a place, and then it would, and be distributed, and that would be just, yeah.
Yeah, it's a basically application, and you can. It's like you put in into the what it's called, like a place where you can like vote for it for the lower price. You can bid, and that way the discount goes to the sender. Basically, not only is decentralized, you can also get the price lower because the people that are delivering it can be anybody, and if they can give a better price if they are going there anyway. It's like you can pick it up the package and go there, just spend a little bit time to deliver it, and this way you can meet like different producers and meet also the consumers.
Wow. 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 That is like, yeah, that's revolutionary, man. That is the kind of infrastructure we need to just localize production.
Yes.
Yeah. Because if we're relying on like a grocery store or something, it's like, and then but there's so here I live in Hawaii, right? And we grow bananas.
Yeah.
Yet when I go into town and I go to Target, like the store, the bananas are from Guatemala.
What?
Yeah. Or Ecuador, they're from Central America is a better way of saying it. I'm not sure the exact origin, but they're from Central America. Versus here we grow bananas, so it's this kind of thing where I hear this and it's like people have bananas, but some sort of decentralized food connection getting, like why yeah.
We had this. I had this. I don't know where I heard it, but we had this idea. You should eat what you can get 1 day's walk away. Like if you and we tested this. We walked 60 kilometers. That's like I don't know, 40 miles maybe. So we did that one day together, and we did that distance. So this is the distance, and this way, this is where we should eat around this area, basically, what we can get here. But are
Wow.
the banana quality the same?
uh no, not necessarily. Like I think the bananas that are in the the stores are not as high quality. Like if you take they've picked green and then they're artificially ripened and they're shipped here, and there's all kinds of, they've tried like they're very consistent is what I would say. There's like a consistent, like, not that great taste of banana. It's like, it's like, but then there's bananas here of all different varieties and all sorts that are just like amazing and fresh and just have this like, but they're a little bit.
The only difference is the price, right?
It's true. It's true. But bananas here are fairly cheap. I mean, I sell sometimes $1.25 a pound. So that's not that expensive of thinking versus in the store. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it is a little bit cheaper though, which is crazy because it's come from thousands of miles away.
Yeah, and you have such a good weather all year round, basically. Well, maybe the rain is not that great.
40 days of rain, man. Imagine it raining like 4 feet on you. Like,
yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's significant. And then so Hawaii, like here it rains I think 150 to 200 inches a year. So yeah, you could convert that centimeters.
That's in hundreds? What?
200 inches, which is in feet, like divide that by 12.
200 inches, like times 2.5.
It's 16 feet. 16 feet of rain.
That's crazy amount.
Yeah. So anything else, Korean natural farming you want to share? Zoom's gonna kick us off here in like 4 minutes, and then so we got 4 more minutes.
One short thing. Well, I didn't manage to get a good IMO 1 here, but I was trying to collect it in here.
Oh, nice.
Now it's good, but I tried to do it here, but still didn't have a good result. There's some mycelia here you can see.
Did you moisten that up before you?
Yeah, it was too moist when I got it because I scraped it off the floor of the forests in very wet weather. So it's kind of drying out now. Maybe I should rehydrate with plain water.
Yeah, just a little bit of rehydration with water before you just so it's not dripping wet, but like moist, like a forest, not sopping wet because it's going to be in that bucket and down there. Like, don't make it like sopping wet where it's a pool of water at the bottom. It's like mist it a little bit.
I'll try that.
Yeah.
I still need to learn how to cook the rice, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you gotta take a trip to Hawaii or Japan.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe next year I can get to your place.
Yeah. We'll cook some good rice and some ulu and all kinds of good food, bananas.
Cool. All right.
Yo, Lenny, you got a message for folks? You want to share? What's your message to the world, I guess?
Go for it. Just go for it.
Yeah, so I mean, in your story, you weren't very much agriculture. What I'm curious, if you're IT, what made you go agriculture?
I was kind of depressed doing my work. It was like a hard experience, like mentally, and then I just reduced myself back to childhood home at my parents' place, and then they're just starting to reconnect with the locals and my one old friend, and then get to know his friends, and then I tried the mushrooms growing. And then I started to think, okay, what I have around, what I can do, and then I just naturally gravitated to this one. So that's how.
Well, you seem happier to me, man. I really enjoy you tuning in and just this whole connection we've had, man. I really appreciate you, George. Thanks for sharing with everybody.
Thank you.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll let you go, and we'll go back to the thing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Let me see this, and then I'm gonna turn this one off. And then quit that. Okay. And I think we're back, right? Yeah, over here, all good. Yeah, thank you, George, man. That was cool, right? Yeah, thanks. And thanks for Super Chat Bird. Awesome. It's great to have the show be so supported and everyone tuning in, staying steady towards the wind, continuing to, experiment, to see these see the practices being adapted around the world, everyone putting it into practice, continuing to check in here to share with the community and everything. It's just what a good things happening. It's cool for me to see that community form from just here to office hours, or however you find natural farming, right? He was in the mushrooms, then he got into soil, and he found this, and it's everyone has these stories of how they found it, and then coming back to being here to share. And yeah, Partita has a place near you, and now making physical connections too across the way, and if working with each other to build this up. Sometimes I guess, yeah, I was talking this morning, it's why do I do this office hour? But it's stuff like this where we can really see and share and get together this way. So let's see, we got about 10 more minutes or so here. We went through the calciums. Let's see here. If I do it this way, do we have any questions? I mean, I guess you guys did. Okay, so questions. No. Well, Ben. Yeah, Ben was saying something. Oh, okay. He's making vinegar, and he has a SCOBY forming, spots of mold on top. At what point is it gone? Vinegar below, still salvageable. Vinegar gets pretty gross. You should it'd be interesting to time lapse of vinegar and see, but it gets pretty gross. What? Russia in the house? What's up? Hey. Wow. People from all over the world here. And you guys are near each other and stuff, and connected through this channel. You've found other mycelial people around you that are into natural farming. That's kind of a trip, right? Yeah, I guess, that's one of the things that happens at natural farming gatherings, is you're able to find other people that are into this stuff, because it's kind of weird, even in this world where there's all this around us. Okay, well, Ben, you're in luck here, because today, let's do a cool transition. This one, yeah, burst, slide. Sorry. Anyway, entertaining myself with this thing. So, yeah. What if the news did that? They're just playing around with their effects. Welcome to the news. Yeah, we have a mystical web. Well, awesome. I'm glad you're tuning in, and I won't play around with effects too much, but today we can get into brown rice vinegar, which is kind of funny because Ben was just talking about this, right? He was just hey, what about the brown rice vinegar? He's making some. And so why not drop into Master Cho's presentation on brown rice vinegar from Master Cho. This is slide 137. Wow. We've been at this for a while, and there's still more to go. So let's see here. Brown rice vinegar. Slide number 1 is sterilization. Oh, excuse me. Start with the characteristics of brown rice vinegar. It works for sterilization, neutralization, Diuresis. I gotta look this word up. Diuresis. I think that's like pulling water out. I don't know. I will look up diuresis. That's one thing I'm not familiar with. And synthesis, to prevent and cure various diseases. Okay. So, we were talking about KNF medicine, KNF food to prevent and cure various diseases, right? I don't even know if you can say that on this channel, on this YouTube, cure various diseases. This is going to be an edgy episode, right? We talked about a couple different things. Always interviewing people in real life gets an edgy YouTube. Is it? So I want to jump right into this first point of summarizing sterilization. It's not necessarily sterilization. Vinegar is not going to sterilize something. Vinegar itself is actually living, so it's not sterile itself. So how the heck could something that's living sterilize something? But what it does is it gets rid of a lot of bacteria that are disease causing. So what I would say instead of sterilization here is I would say sanitization. You can use vinegar to clean up molds. You can use vinegar to clean countertops and prevent bad bacteria after cutting chicken or meat. You can use vinegar for cleaning. It's a cleaning product. You can go to a cleaning aisle and get vinegar, right? Concentrated vinegar. And so vinegar is a cleaner. And that's what I would say is a cleaning. That's why I call it KNF Cleanser, right? They say sterilization. I say sanitization, cleansing, cleaning. Neutralization is going back to where sometimes things get out of balance. Like, for instance, in your body, you can get too acidic. And by taking a shot of brown rice vinegar or apple cider vinegar, you can return back to alkaline. And so it brings you back to this neutralization, like out point. We could look up neutralization a little bit more of what they mean, but it brings, again, things out of balance into balance or into neutral so that they can be put back into balance. So if something was out of whack over here, it brings it back to a point where then it can be put in its right place. That's more neutralization. Bringing balance is what brown rice vinegar does for your plants. So anything out of balance, neutralization, sterilize it, sanitization, balancing is what this cleanser does. It brings it back so new growth can occur after things are clean. And let's look up diuresis, because what is diuresis? I didn't even spell it right. Diuresis is the condition in which the kidneys filter too much bodily fluid. Oh, that increases your urine production and the frequency which you need to use the bathroom. Most adults will urinate about 4 to 6 times a day, with an average output between 3 cups and 3 quarts of urine. So diuresis is in a condition in which the kidneys filter too much bodily fluid. So apparently it helps if your plant is peeing too much. Oh, and synthesis. So synthesis is always like a harmonization, like helping things synthesize, helping them integrate, right? What else is synthesis? It's like you have, for instance, you get a new KNF food coming in, the vinegar helps it absorb it and neutralize and metabolize it and turn it into energy. So it's a synthesizer. That's what the vinegar does. It helps things, bonding. That's a good word. Hey, cool. So these are all these products, right? So this is what vinegar does. It does all these things. I want to say sanitizes, cleanses, balances, helps absorption of other things, helps synthesis. These different words, these different ideas, if you can understand what I'm saying here. I don't know about the diuresis, helps it not pee. Maybe it helps it retain better nutrients the way and not get rid of them and retain them better. I'm not sure what the diuresis exactly means in this context. So next is functions of BRV. So what does it do for your plant? Basically, it facilitates vegetative growth. It affects the initial growth of the leaves greatly. So, hey, take note of this, George. Initial growth of leaves greatly, vinegar. I don't know. Maybe this is the one. I saw your trial. It didn't do that much. Maybe increase the vinegar. I don't know. Improves the flexibility of the tree. So anything that's, instead of snapping, it becomes more flexible. So, so vegetative growth, all these early things and flexibility, it actually does a whole lot more than this. And we'll see there. We'll pull up Master Cho's things on vinegar. But that's what he says here. So basically, helps grow leaves, helps things spread out. Then it says ability to sterilize. Again, I want to say this: ability to sanitize. It restrains bacterial growth. Yes. Maximizes the effect of calcium. So if you want calcium absorption to be better, throw a little vinegar in there. It'll help maximize the effect of calcium. And BRV of high concentration accelerates reproductive growth. So maybe if you're wanting to have things reproduce a little bit more vinegar toward the end while things are reproducing. So while your fruits are forming, a little bit more BRV maybe, perhaps. So how to make it? He says make makgeolli, or make rice wine vinegar, or excuse me, rice wine. And then it is possible to collect yeast from the content that has been in fermentation process for 2 to 3 days. So get yeast from an FPJ that's been going for 2 to 3 days. And if ripe makgeolli is left as is, BRV produces due to acetic acid bacteria. So basically, he's saying just leave alcohol out and it will turn to brown rice vinegar. So leave rice wine out and it'll turn to BRV, especially if you put a little yeast in there. So, I'm not sure I read number 2 correct. Don't take me in front. It is possible to collect yeast from the content that has been in fermentation process for 2 to 3 days. So maybe you can grab yeast off of a in-process BRV, is what he's saying. I'm not sure. Be careful with this one. Even my translation might be more confusing. So, and then thank you. He's done. So that's all you get with BRV. How to make it? You take rice wine, and however, I teach a different method of making it. Let's go check out what I do. It's not that it's different. It's just different for me in the tropics. I can't grow very easily. I mean, Master Joe would slap me for that, but let's see here, this one. And then let's go check out 2 things. Let's check out, well, before we get to mine, let's go to Master Cho's one here. Let's go pull up brown rice vinegar. And here he talks about it. Let's make this a bit bigger here. He talks about brown rice vinegar and he says, okay, so let me just read this. We'll go a little bit over time to get into this full brown rice vinegar here. But characteristics of brown rice vinegar. The acetic acid bacteria of brown rice vinegar affects liver cells and supports them for sterilization, neutralization, diuresis, synthesis, and work to prevent various diseases. Prevent and cure various diseases, which I don't think you can say on YouTube. So it works on the kidneys to do that, or the liver cells to do that. So now you're getting a little bit more into this because it said that without context of the liver cells. BRV is weakly acidic or alkali. BRV is weakly acidic and alkali as well. What the heck? It's acid and base. Watch out. BRV is an acid, but when it decomposes in the body, the remnants will become alkali. Okay, there you go. There's the clarification. Therefore, it is called an alkali food. Even though it's acidic, it's called an alkali food. As the BRV shows, acid material and acid foods are different. Cereals and fruits which produced vinegars are typically alkali foods. So you want to make the vinegar from cereals or fruits because it'll be an alkali food. BRV itself is an acid, but it also changes to a base when it is absorbed by humans, livestock, and crops. So BRV functions to change the physical constitution from acidic to alkali, which means it renews the body into a pure and healthy condition. So, yep, so it flips when it hits the body, and then you become healthy, apparently. Pure and healthy. So if you want to be pure, that vinegar. Because BRV contains phytic acid, it helps to neutralize poisons, to sterilize, and to improve physical constitution. It is effective in preventing and curing various diseases. So phytic acid prevent you from poisons. Cool. BRV has more amino acids and organic acids which are antidotal than any other food. Therefore, it has an excellent decomposing. It has an excellent for decomposing lactic acid, which prevents aging. So this will eat lactic acid and prevent aging. BRV raises the calcium absorption ratio. If the body fluid tends to be acidic, the body tries to neutralize it. When this happens, the body needs calcium. It is difficult for calcium to be absorbed in an acidic condition, but combined with the citric acid in BRV, the calcium can be easily absorbed. So there you go. That was a lot more explanation on all those other reasons. It says in low concentrations, it facilitates vegetative growth in the leaves greatly. If BRV is applied to the leaves, it helps them form a wax layer, which creates a thicker layer, fastens foliation, and increases resistance to diseases and insects. So BRV improves the flexibility of a tree, and it increases the absorption ability when natural farming materials are sprayed. Due to the activity of acetic acid bacteria, BRV has the ability to sterilize and restrain bacterial growth. Because it is used with water-soluble calcium, BRV maximizes the effect of calcium. BRV in high concentration accelerates the reproductive growth. Okay. Almost there. Are we almost there? We're almost there. I switched to the wrong one. Okay. And then how to make it. Again, he says make rice wine. No, it's the exact same recipe. So we'll skip that. And then he goes into okay. So then he goes, this lasts a little bit. Put the eggshell, so practical usage of BRV. Put the eggshells or oyster shells in BRV to make water-soluble calcium. Dissolve bones in BRV to make water-soluble calcium phosphate. We covered those two last week. For the purpose of sterilizing, use BRV with the dilution ratio of 1 to 500 at the juvenile leaf stage and the ratio of 1 to 200 or 300 in the adult leaf stage. So if you need to sterilize or clean something, you can put it 1 to 500 for small plants and 1 to 200, 1 to 300 for adult plants. If you need to clean leaves like mold or whatever, something gnarly stuff on there, dilute it that way. Use it that way. BRV is used for making soil foundation, seed treatments of vegetative growth period, crossover period, and reproductive growth period. So it's used in almost all the formulas, is what they're saying. It's used when making IMO 3-4 and mixed compost. BRV is used for the matured plant. BRV decreases sugar content if the fruit or hot taste in the case of the pepper. So BRV will actually decrease the sugar content, so be careful. Okay. So that is what Master Cho has on that, and then I'll go lastly to this book here, my book, which is available at KNF support, and so is all these things. Then let's go to my BRV recipe. Where is it at? This one, cleanser. I call it cleanser. I don't call it BRV. Cleanser from fruit or grain vinegar. And so what you do, how my recipe, instead of having the alcohol from the other one, is to step 1, mix in 1 part of KNF food from fruits. So 1 part there, and then 2 parts of water. Okay, so you need to make the food recipe first. You need to follow this recipe first. Make food, finish it, super saturate it, get it completely done, and then go on to this recipe, because the way I just follow this recipe, the food makes the cleanser as the next stage. You're just taking 1 part of the food here, 2 parts of water, mixing them together, fermenting them for 3 to 6 months. It can be quicker than that if you do it right. And then test and pour off the finished vinegar. A finished vinegar will have a pH of less than 2.4. So that's, again, he took alcohol and put it out. I just take KNF food and add water to it, and then let it ferment and leave airspace and put a breathable lid and leave it out, and it will turn to vinegar. So that's how I do it. And the thing will float to the top. Every food is a vinegar. Yeah, 100 for sure. So, and then in terms of usage, how to use these things, of course, they always go to these formulas, which are, maintenance formula. It's used here. It's used in soil formula, used in seed, leaf, bloom, fruit. It's not used in the harvest formula because, again, it lowers the sugar content, right? So it's not used right before harvest. You stop using it right before harvest. But every other time it's used, along with these other things to make these formulas. And those are then watered out there. So here it is, and I call it KNF Cleanser. It's a fruit or grain vinegar. Acts to flip the polarity of a cell upon the metabolization of it, going from acidic to alkaline, thus enabling the cell to clean itself and be open for absorption of new foods. Many other exciting functions. So that's how I describe it. Real simple, real easy. Pure KNF, making it happen. So anyway, I want to thank you guys. We're over time. We're over everything. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate George there sharing the super chats from Bird, and anyone else who wants to drop a super chat or thanks, hey. But if you don't, that's cool too. Pay it forward, do natural farming, teach it, spread it, grow it, share it with your friends, neighbors. Apparently I saw here it was growing in Russia. That's pretty cool. Maybe we can interview you, somebody else, anyone else that wants to be interviewed. Let me know. Like how we did with George, can drop you the link usually, and we can get into that and find out what's going on. You can share, talk story, all that, and appreciate it. Appreciate the Pure KNF Foundation making this happen. And you, the viewer, like, share, subscribe, or don't. It's your choice. But cool. Well, thank you. Thanks to Master Cho. Don't forget him. Cool. Aloha. Long live the natural farmer. Bye. Aloha. Close curtain. Boom.